So I am definitely a creature of habit when it comes to yarn. So this year, one of my goals was to branch out and try all different types of yarn. There's a lot more in the world than just Red Heart, and I love this yarn and Big Twist, which are all great. I like them all, no matter what anyone else says. I've never had an issue really, but I don't know, just time to like dip my toe into other stuff, like the more I crochet. But I'm trying to be a little bit more mindful about the things I make now, so they can at least be a little more durable or like softer depending on what I'm making. So my first stop on the new yarn journey, I got some of the Caron yarn, or I like to say Caron. Originally when I saw the yarn, I thought maybe it was a little bit too shimmery looking for me. I don't know if that makes sense. It just looks very shiny. My partner went to Joann's and he had the list of stuff I wanted. I didn't want to leave the house. I had a really bad pedicure appointment that like put me in an anxiety spell, so I didn't want to go anywhere, and he was kind enough to stop by Joann's for me. So the colors I got were lavender blue, this one's just waiting to pop out, plum perfect, and pistachio. So some of the colors he wasn't able to get, which is fine because sometimes they're, you know, out of stock, or their website lies and says they have it in stock, and then you get there and it's not there. Originally, one of the main colors I wanted was the sage color. Super pretty, but they were out of it. And then the other one he wasn't able to find was blackberry, which is another one that's super pretty. On the website, when I was looking at it, the soft green looked a little bit more green, but in person it looks kind of more like a minty green color. I don't know if I want to use that for the project I was gonna do, but it's still pretty, so we'll just put that on the back burner. I'm wanting to make a blanket since I'm wanting to do kind of a cactus succulent theme. Probably more of a cactus with this green, because I kind of wanted it to like gradually taper out. I don't know if you guys think that would look good together. I'll just kind of wing it and hope for the best, but just kind of have like a different type of gradient. I really like to look at like nature palettes and pick my color scheme that way. Like if my brain isn't really working, like I know I want to work on something, but I can't think of any colors, I just like to Google nature palettes. This is recommended to use an eye hook, so the 5.5 millimeter hook. Let's see here. It does say machine washable and dryable. I'm always scared of doing that because I don't want my project to get ruined, even if it says so. Like, it can do that. It's just in the back of my head. So I would prefer to wash it by hand, unless like my cat throws up on it or something. Sometimes I'll just like cut my losses and whatever, it's dead to me now, and I'll just throw it in the trash. But if it's something like big, like a blanket, I guess I don't know, I might try like washing it in the washing machine and stress out while it's in there, but we'll see. But it just feels super soft. It just, yeah, it has kind of like a sheen to it. I don't know if the camera can pick that up, like the shiniest. I'm sure if you used this one before. I also did get the gold color, but it's a really intense color that I don't know what I'll use it for. It looks like almost like a sports team medal or something, and that one's really shiny. So that one got put in the yarn bin downstairs. But I'll work with these. This one is really shiny. This one's super shiny. Also looks a little bit fuzzy. It's fine though. Everything is fine all the time. I just go with the flow. These ones would look really pretty together too. Having like maybe like that pattern. But I think I'll just stick with my original. So let's just start our blanket now. So disclaimer, I am doing this on my ottoman because my setup is kind of messy right now where I usually do my crochet tutorials, but this one will work with what we got right now. So I am going to start with the pistachio color, and I have got my eye hook. Meh. My cats always try and eat the yarn wrappers. I don't know if anyone else's do that. I'm not a fancy crochet person. Gotta work with what I got. So I do not like where this color scheme is going. So I'm going to use the light blue-green yarn for the center. And I think those colors will work better together. And then I'm going to make a beanie out of the green. So we'll see how that turns out. Okay, I am back. I made up a little beanie with the yarn also, since I decided not to do the blanket with the green. So I still wanted to try it out. I think it turned out cute with like kind of an eggplant type color. This is the start of the like star blanket pattern that I'm going to use. I think that this looks a lot better color scheme wise than with the green. I honestly think that the dark purple is my favorite color out of the ones that I've been using. This is just kind of like a experiment blanket, just to, I don't know. I haven't really made like a blanket before. I think with this yarn I'm just gonna make this a smaller blanket because I don't really want to buy any more. So it'll be like a smaller blanket that I can just like drape over a chair just to give it a little bit of fun flair throughout the house. I also started working on another blanket, but this one is a little bit different because I'm going to be trying to make a little blankie from the Brave Little Toaster. So that is the start of that. For the head of it, I got, I think it's called Caron from Red Heart Super Savers, just for his head. And then this 24/7 cotton yarn in shade Golden Rod from Lion Brand, and that'll be his nose. So I think that is coming along nicely. overall, I feel like this one I had done earlier, and I feel like it's already kind of fuzzy. I don't know if that will pick up, but maybe I did something wrong, but it just looks a little bit fuzzy to me. My take for the Caron Simply Soft yarn is that it's just okay. I don't mind how it feels on my hands. The texture doesn't make my skin crawl like some do. It's definitely good quality for the value, and it does come in a lot of beautiful colors. I'm not sure if it's like the sheen or shininess to it, but I do think it shows off a little bit more of the stitch detail really nicely. I didn't really have any issues with like tangling or being able to pull the yarn from the middle. However, because of the slippery feel to the yarn, I am a little worried about like my weaved ends coming out. I did use like make it extra long so I could try to make it a little bit more secure. But I don't even know if that would matter, especially when I think about washing it. I would be worried about like it getting ruined or starting to fray or come out if I was to wash it. If I was going to make it a little bit more secure, I think I would tie a piece of matching sewing thread to the tail and weave it through that way. Especially if I was making it as a gift for somebody else or like a wearable item like a sweater. I don't know, I do get the feeling that the ends will slowly slither their way back out. At first, I was having trouble with it, snagging and splitting. I originally was starting out with my pink hook. I have no idea where I got this from or what it is made out of. Once I switched over to this black hook, which is made out of metal, I didn't have any more of that issue. With this one, it was pretty much every other stitch wasn't wanting to cooperate with me. So I think it might just depend on what hook you're using for this type of yarn. All in all, I can see why this is such a popular yarn. But personally, I don't think I would buy this again. I would probably try the Caron cakes. I have heard a lot of good things about those. For the remaining yarn that I do have, I think that I will just use that up for the project, like for the blanket I'm working on, and just call it good with that. I don't think it's the yarn for me, but you know, I can see the pros of it and why people do like to use it, especially for like baby blankets. I will say though, with this beanie, it isn't necessarily the best for warmth. We just had like a huge snowstorm come in and this wasn't really doing anything for that. But like sitting here, it feels good, but just I wouldn't wear it to keep warm. I would switch over to a different type of yarn. I don't know why, it just seemed like the cold cut through this really easily. So I'll finish up this little blanket just to drape over the chair. And I might still try this pattern and use different types of yarns. I've just never been a big project person. I just get kind of bored, but I think a blanket like this would be nice just to pick up on occasion and chip away at it over time. And if you're wondering like how I made this, I will make a tutorial on how to at least start the blanket, because I don't know how long it'll take me to finish it, just because I'm a little bit over it and I just ordered a bunch of other yarn that I'd like to try out and review. If you have any tips or tricks on using the Caron Simply Soft that I could use for working on the rest of this blanket, let me know below, and why you do or don't like it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Goodbye!